Hi all viewers, how are you? How have you been? It's been long since we've been here, but yes, we've been up to something. As you all know, I am also an interior designer or interior decorator, and today we are unveiling a project that I've been working on. So please come in and be able to share the experience with us. Let us know by the end of watching this video what you think, and we are happy to be able to share with you the insights, how it went and all that. But also, if you have a project, however tiny it is, like this should be about 20 square meters, less than 20 square meters. But if you have a tiny project, don't look at it as it is a tiny project. No, we work even within one room. So yeah, come with us and come along. Let's So this unit is finally taking shape. We're going for the rustic kind of style, Scandinavian. So yeah, that's why I like the black feature wall with the whites, and then putting a few things together so that now by the end of the next 2 to 3 days, we should be able to unveil the whole place, how it looks. But currently, this is the stage that we are in. Happy with the progress, happy we're doing the painting. Then starting to be able to gather things slowly by slowly to be able to just make sure that we are working within the timeline. So keep it here, we'll be able to show you the final results and how it will all come out. So a bit of an update about this project. We've been working on this project for about 3 weeks right now. So the last time we were here, as you've seen from the before pictures, I decided to paint this wall black to be able to create a feature wall. This is a very small room, and therefore I just needed to be able to kind of create something unique, and that's why we painted this. So this is like a feature wall. There will be some decoration that will go up to here. We are actually working with more of a bohemian style, so there will be some baskets that will be able to go up to on this top. So we brought in a bed, and the mattress already is here. This bed does not have a headboard simply because I felt like, it will overwhelm the room. If we add the decors and then now still have the headboard, it will overwhelm the room. But still she'll be able to work. It will be very nice. We'll just do the pillows and that will be it. So this mirror, I actually repurposed it from the main house, from the owner of this unit. So I'm working on this project for somebody else. So this was one of the items they had in the room, so I repurposed it and brought it here so that now it's able to pick up light through the window and through the door and be able to amplify the room. This also was repurposed from the main house. So this is a floor lamp, very beautiful. You'll be able to see it when it comes to life. And then of course we brought in curtains. I went with this more of beigeish, creamish color. This is very nice to be able to complement the all aesthetics of the room. The main thing about this room is the floor was so busy, the tiles are extremely busy, so I needed something to tone this room down. So therefore working with white, brilliant white walls, that should be able to work with the shears. Went for the brilliant white shears. The curtains was actually inspired by this and the wardrobe. I love the subtle wood colors coming into it, but also the bohemian kind of style has that woodish feel kind of. So that is why the beige and the creamish still play a role, and you'll be able to see how this comes together. I am just creating a couch for this place, so there will be a couch here, and then we'll be able to do a plain carpet. In the next series, you'll be able to see that. This, we are going to remove the shelves. Once we remove the shelves, we'll be able to place our fridge in here, and our TV will go right up here. So it's a small room that, is both functional and can be able to host guests, and you can be able to use it as an Airbnb as well. There's storage, there's a place for the TV, there's for the fridge, then there's the TV and all that. I painted the doors black. One is to be able to get to that, so that there are things that are working together. In interior design, you want to be able to not just have one thing isolated. So the wall complements the doors. So the doors were in blue, but I felt like that wasn't really working. So this and that's how it came out to black. Well, this side, as you've seen on the before pictures, we covered this with contact paper, so that now it remains brilliant white. For it to be able to also amplify this space, it was so busy with the tiles that were here. The tiles that were here were extremely busy. So for this door, we decided to also be able to paint it black, in the sense that now it looks like the other doors inside there. Out here, you're going to be able to do the final touches, and you will be able to see it on our final reveal. But at the moment, it is the way it is, but there's going to be so much happening around here. But this will be on the final reveal, where we'll be able to walk you all through the video, or walk you through the whole project and be able to see how this turns out. Welcome in. This is the next space. The moment you get into this unit, this is the space that you find. It's a small kitchenette. Initially, the tiles on the wall and the floor were so initially these tiles, there were tiles and they were in blue and all that, but we decided to be able to just use, this is a wallpaper, or what we call contact paper. So we used contact papers to be able to seal off that, so that it was so like too patterned, too much and so busy. So just be able to calm the space. And also something that you'll be able to notice is to be able to bring in more air, or more to be able to bring in more lighting into this space. The lighting in this space, if you're having something that is different and the colors are so bubbly, the room looks cramped up. So this was able to like make the room look a little bit larger, bring in more air, and it looks brighter, it looks airy and all that. And this is how it turned out. The floor, we maintained the tiles that were on the floor, and because this was a budget project, so we had to maintain that, but I love that the colors are still running, so that's the reason of literally going with brilliant white to be able to support the room as well. The bathroom as well had the same kind of tiles, or the same kind of, the walls had a different kind of tiles, so we used the contact paper, and just the contact paper literally lifts up the room initially, so the place automatically becomes bright, painted the upper side white, and this is how it turned out. So it looks bright, well lit, and you can be able to enjoy the room. Of course, the door we painted black. We just adjusted, and all the doors within this room, we were able to paint them black, so that now they all look familiar. So this is more of like a black and white themed project, and it turned out great, I think, but you'll be able to tell me if this is what you think. So welcome in, and as I said, this is the door that comes into the room, or into the space. Painted it black as well, to just be able to have the same kind of thing, being able to run around. And here, as you come into the space, we have a big window right here. This is so large, and the window, we were able to just use, a white sheer, and the curtains, bringing in a solid color that is more neutral to be able to work with. And the choice of these curtains was simply because of the wardrobe. The wardrobe had already been installed into this room, and therefore we had to look for something that should be able to complement that wardrobe. So the coloring, you can be able to see like the neutral, the woods, the browns and all that, being able to just be able to be brought in together to marry and be able to create a cohesive environment. Of course, now we can talk about this lamp. This is such a beautiful lamp that the owner actually had this lamp. And while we were creating this space, I thought, why not have this lamp into this space, just to bring in some aura, to bring in something just fancy, something nice, something cool. And I like that it looks the way traditional-ish kind of thing, and a bit of rustic and all that. And that is like, you'll be able to see the room has a bit of rusticness into it and all that. And this mirror too, we were able to bring it from the owner's house. Now, one thing about doing projects on a budget is I am able to look at what you have. What do you have within you that we can be able to use? That is one thing, so that it's not just about buying new things and coming to cramp them into your space. No. I look at the items that you have. I look at what do you have in your space that I'm still able to utilize, and that cuts down your budget heavily. So that's another aspect of using an interior designer vis-a-vis just going on to bring in other things, because sometimes you find that you have things that are very nice, you're not using them where you are at, but can be used or reused somewhere else. So yeah, all these were brought in from the owner's house because they still had this. Oh wow, let's talk about this wall. Now initially the whole house had a blue color, like it was blue. You can imagine. Literally that was like about, so I decided to be able to create a feature wall. Now when you step in from outside and then when you just come into the house, this is what you see first. Like you want to have an aha moment, so that it's not just stepping into a room, but you're stepping into a room of aha, that looks cool. Like your eyes literally fall straight onto this, and so I decided to create this as a feature wall. So I painted the feature wall black to be able to just create that difference and bring in that all kind of difference into the space, and just be able to, so that it's not just a whole white hall and all that. Differentiate it slightly. Then we were able to bring in these wall arts. These ones was supposed to be able to just, this like Tonga baskets. This is just to, continue with the rustic nature. Remember that this has that rustic aspect kind of it going on, and therefore decided to increase all these as well to be able to just introduce these onto this wall, so that the wall has that rustic nature. So that this unit looks more rustic, modern. It's a mid-century modern kind of decoration that we went with. On that wall, that also came from the owner's house. Can you imagine that picture? So we reused that picture. I felt like especially the framing of that was very beautiful. The frame was able to match or marry the curtains, and then also be able to marry with the wardrobe as well. So there's a whole thing of marrying things that when you're doing interior design, you want to be able to see things aligning together. And especially they say there's the rule of the threes, whereby you have things that look similar, or things that are in the same shape, or things that come within the same color palette, or something of that sort. So you have to think about, when you introduce one thing, it does not have to be on its own. You bring in something that can be able to marry with the others. And I think that aligns very well. Felt so well. The size was very nice. Great to be able to fit that wall. And here we go. Now this bed is literally a headless, like there's no headboard. We decided to not have a headboard. The reason of not having a headboard is so that we just be able to enjoy and have it like an easy bed kind of thing. And I think that it works out very well. It turned out so well. The color of the bed, of course, then also working out with what we able to the color of the bed, marrying the colors within the room and within the space. So basically creating a haven or a comfort zone that you're able to enjoy this room. The choice of going with a 5x6 bed, so that if you're two of you, you can be able to enjoy this space nicely, just be able to enjoy the place and be able to see how beautiful this room is. Now I also added onto let's talk about the beddings. Now remember talking about the rule of threes, or the rules not isolating things on their own. So this throw blanket literally complements the doors, it complements the wall, and it also complements the electronics within the room. So you won't see an isolated black, you will see blacks, a few blacks, and that's why I say this is more of like a color palette that really mirrors more towards the blacks and whites and more neutral and beiges. The oranges were literally to just pop up the room. So that's the reason I put like throw pillows in orange, to be able to just make the room slightly pop up. It's not so much onto the eye, it's not so busy, but literally just lifts the room and gives the room that chic and oomph that you need. let's talk about the carpet. So the choice of the carpet was supposed to be able to help that it's able to marry the floor. Remember, the floor is already busy and we were not going to touch the floor in our renovations. So we needed something that is a bit neutral and something that should be able to work with what the floor is. And this choice of color, I feel that this worked out so well. So we have two carpets here. There's this rug, this is in beige. This beige literally is to be able to also complement this. And remember, the carpets also act as dividers into the room. So this, when you're here, you feel like you're in the bedroom. So it divides this space. So, you know, and then when you've showered, you want to change, so you can open up and take your clothes and just change from here. And when you step out, you literally feel like you've come into the living space. See how that transforms, just using small items to divide the room. So here you feel like, oh, now this I am like on the side of the room, and therefore you're able to relax like at this point. So this is extremely like the carpet works very well, and I like the choice of the pattern and just the, you know, the texture of the carpet as well. Different textures create a cohesive or create something that is, you know, a bit unique, so that when you're looking at every item, you find different textures, you find some smooth, some a bit rough, some a bit rugged. And that is the best thing about bringing out a room. You try to work with different textures, different colors, different aspects, and be able to just create a room that you feel works out. And brought in a small table so that, you know, if you're here, you want to have your meals, and or you just want to study, or you want to do some work, so you can use this small table right here. This actually is thrifted. So I went out and I was just like looking for stuff, and then I found this at a thrifting shop, and see how beautiful it turned out, and it just married this space. Coming in white, for me that was a plus, because then, you know, the full ceiling coming in white and just bringing in the white aspect, or bringing in just that brightness into this room. Remember, this is a very, very small room, so you bring in a sense of things that make the room look brighter. Let's talk about this area here. Eventually we're going to remove these two, so that now we're able to put our fridge down here, so that you can be able to have like a smaller fridge around here. But now the person who's staying in this room are able to just bring in their meals from the main house, and then they just warm in here, or maybe they just come in with their takeaways and they want to be able to warm, they just warm it from at this point. And therefore this area would be more of like, this is the having this as the warming space, and then down having a fridge. Thinking of putting a TV right here, but not yet. We're looking at this room just being that room where you do not want to have so many things or things cluttered, but looking at an unwinding space. You're looking at a place where you just want to go and rest. You do not want so much noise and all that. So yeah, that's why the TV is not there, and we are not thinking of having a TV within this room. Looking at it as just a place to be able to cool. And yeah, so this is how the whole room looks like, and that is the sum of my project. And if I tell you, this project was very, very budget friendly, to the point whereby the client was like, wow, we've managed to achieve such a space at such a budget. So do not be afraid, do not be scared when you're looking at like, Mildred, I only have this little amount of money, what do I do? No. We're able to work within your budget. We see what you have, and we work around what you have. So yeah, if you have that project, please consider giving it up to us, and we will turn it into a beautiful, nice space that you will love.